So for my week 8 activity, we are going to be looking at these two graphic organizers. For number one, what are the pros and cons of the two different graphic organizers? For the pro, I would definitely say that number one is very simplified and would be less confusing for younger students. Pro for number two is that it is very organized. And it is very detailed. A con for this can be, though, that it could be too much for those younger students. And a con for number one is that it could be um, maybe too simple for those older students and maybe not enough for them. And for question number two, would these tools be useful when working with young kids and emerging bilinguals? Why or why not? I definitely think that number one would be great for those younger kids and emerging bilinguals because it is more simplified than the graphic organizer number two. I think number two would probably end up being too much and become very overwhelming for those students, while I think number one keeps it simple but to the point of the activity. If not, how could you modify the tools to better meet your needs of those students? For number two, what I would do to modify this was if you wanted to keep all five of those questions, you could get rid of the evidence column for the students, and that would be less work and less overwhelming, you know, things for them to do. It would just be easier overall. Or if you wanted to keep the evidence column, you could, only do two questions and then do both columns, or you could even do three questions. So they're really only answering six things or four things and not all 10. If I was to change something for number one, I would maybe put some more detailed questions that would, make it more to the point and not just same as today, different than today. So those students really got, um, a better understanding of what they needed to do in those columns.